Okay, so this video focuses on fractions and how they actually work. Okay, so let's just head straight to the first point of the topic. So it says there that you may have thought about this particular question that asks if we can use addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication with every single fraction. And the answer is yes. Yes, but we'll actually talk about why. Now in the first example, we can actually see that it may seem really complex at first when you okay, so like it may seem complex at first glance, but when you think of it, you are supposed to multiply by one, but in the fancy way, as shown in as shown in this particular example right over here. Here. So what I mean by multiply by one is we have to multiply a fraction that has the same number fraction whose values are the same number as the other as our denominator of every fraction from each side. So this, which is therefore the reason why we multiply by these kinds of fractions over here, like right here. Nothing is changed when you multiply by one, unless you're multiplying by 2 or 3, which is like 6 over 3, 12 over 6, and so on. And this is literally how we got these numbers over here, and what took us to this point here. So if you're about to if you're reading this over here, it simply tells you again that you're multiplying by one. Like, it doesn't change anything about the number itself. So therefore, that's when the principle of fraction kicks in. Fractions, I mean, sorry. But and the same thing goes with subtraction, but this time we're using the minus sign. So again, we multiply by multiply by fractions whose values are the same as the denominator of every fraction from each side. So therefore we get 3 over 3 times 3 over 2 minus 9 over 3 times 2 over 2, which gives us 9 minus 18 over 6, and this gives us 9 over 6. I just have a typo over we have a typo over there, but just kind of ignore that. Like, the only thing you should mind is this fraction right over here. Like, this was the wrong answer. Like, this was the right answer. But for example 3, we have multiplication. But here is the interesting part about multiplication. So when you're multiplying numbers, you are essentially multiplying both the numerator and the denominator. But here is the okay. So like here is a remark that makes it easier for her to understand. So you should actually be like thinking how you work with 3 times 6. Essentially, you're writing as 3 over 1 times 6 over 2 as fractions. But because of this, we can multiply the entirety of each fraction together. So we have 6 over 3 times 2 over 2, which gives us 12 over 6. And again, just to make things easier, you're doing like 3 over 1 times 4 over 1, which is 3 times 4 in general. But if you do it with fractions, that's gonna be a little bit of a different story. But we're multiplying the entirety of every fraction, which is why we have 6 times 2 is 12 over 3 times 2 is 6. So therefore we get our answer here. And the hardest part and the hardest and the last example, but the hardest example of them all, is division. So yeah, well that. Okay, so like I'll laugh at this warning message of all you want, but this is just to kind of add a little bit of humor to my lectures, just to make things a little more enjoyable. So for okay, so like before we proceed to the example, I just wanted to show you a little bit of something that helps you understand how that works. So we have so we have 1/1, which is 1 divided by 1/2. But if you do it if you do it on a calculator, you get 2. But what is that? So well, I'm glad you asked. So for 1 times 1, no, so sorry, for 1/1 divided by 1/2, we simply flip over the we simply flip over these numbers on the in the second fraction, which is what helped us get 2/1, which equals 2. And here's another remark that makes it even more easier to understand than how we get a particular answer that we really want. But now back to the example. Now let's just get us back to the example over here. So 6/5 divided by 9/8. So again we flip over the fraction over. Okay, so we flip over the fraction here first, and right after that we turn this into multiplication sign like this. So now we get 6 times 8 over 5 times 9, which is 48 over 45, and we're finally done the lecture. And I hope you really enjoyed it, and I hope it seems okay. So I hope it seemed understandable, so you could kind of get a good glimpse of how fractions work in particular. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Peace, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care and happy learning.